guys, I'm Anna the Anichik. I know I'm looking really horrendous right now and really gross, but I promise you, you will not have to see my greasy hair and disgusting face for the rest of this video. But I am probably going to be making a boring video. If you're not interested in The Sims, that's fine. This video is not for you. Don't watch! Okay. I am actually going to explain a lot better on the house that I did build that is modeled after my childhood home. Okay, because I don't have the technology or knowledge to screen record, this is just my little temporary, little janky setup. I hope it doesn't bother anyone, and okay, here's the video now. So this is the front end of the house. Throughout this video, I will try to put side-by-side pictures. But I tried getting the bushes right, and we had like a little tree in the yard, and there was a little gap on the side. This is probably really boring information. I tried getting the windows right. We had a big window right in here, and then I was trying to get all the windows correct, and we did have like this odd formation right here. Again, I don't know if I have pictures. I will try looking. We did have like a little like open window. The angles are stupid. I don't know how to work. I'm not good at building roofs, so like the portion of the roof is really odd. This right here would have been a driveway, and then we had like a little shack looking garage, which we barely even used, and then there was like more parking off to the side right here. And then we did have like a weird brick setup right here, a little tree, and then all around us was like another little building. It was like an office. Again, my parents do not live in this house anymore. Unfortunately, we lost it, and it is the realtor's fault and the people that worked for her. But it's unfortunate. It was out of our control. This right here, I'm gonna take the roof down. We did not have a porch up here. It was just like a roof, because this portion of the house, which is this back room right here, it really wasn't that big, by the way. The portions is not accurate, but I was trying to get other things accurate in this build, so things are either too big than what they actually were in my home. If I have pictures of the back room, which I seriously doubt it, I will post it. We did have a TV right here, and that was our back door. We had bookshelves right here, a futon right here, which I actually have had in my past videos before, but I just sold it, so. We did have like coat hangers here, and we had put our shoes right here. And we had two doorways there, and we had a doorway right here. And just follow my little arrow. Here's my arrow. So when I'm saying, oh, right here, I'm pointing it with my little arrow. But anywho, we kept like our recycling bins and our trash bins right here. And I don't know if we had flowers on the side of the house. I think my mom tried. We had 3 bushes right here, and I used to hide in them playing flashlight tag, and then I realized how big of spiders lived in those bushes, and then I just kind of like, stopped hiding in those bushes. We did not have a porch this big. We actually just had a porch right here, but we had like little cemented step downs, which I will try and post side by sides of. We didn't really have stairs like this, and then we had more of a sidewalk going down onto the regular sidewalk, and then we also had I think a concrete walkout this way that led to the driveway, and the driveway was a slight bit of a hill, and on this side of the house we had like maybe right here, it was just like a really steep hill that went into the church parking lot, and like this would be a church. We had an actual roof right here, and this right here was my actual bedroom in this window, this room. And you can get down onto the roof, except I never wanted to because I was too scared. My room was blue. There was no pattern. It was just blue paint. I tried making this look somewhat identical to my old room. Ignore the door. I never had a door. I did have the window system. I tried making it look identical as possible, except move this window over. The window is probably right here, and then I would have a bookshelf right there. But if you've ever played Sims, you know that you can't always fit things the way you want them to fit unless you use a cheat code, which I don't really feel like doing. I put a blue computer chair in here because, one, we used to have a blue computer chair, but it would be down here in the computer room. But I did have my mom's old desk, and I used it for a little while before we moved a makeup table, and I did have a laptop. I don't know why The Sims 4 does not have any laptops when The Sims 3 did have laptops, but I did have a laptop. Sometimes I would sit there and use it. Sometimes I would sit in bed and use it. I did have a queen size bed in there for a little bit, and then I had my futon in there for a little bit. I had a bookshelf right here. I had a hope chest, and I did have a long dresser. I did have one tall bookshelf, and then I did have shelving system. I had a shelf like this above the bookshelf, and then I had long blue shelves. I did have a pin board or a bulletin board above my desk, or I did at one point have my dresser here as well, and I would just pin a bunch of push pins in there, and that's how I hung my jewelry, my necklaces, and my bracelets, and I would put random stickers on it. I did have a shelf above it, and I did have a shelf above this part of my bedroom, and I did have a old box TV sitting on top of an end table, and sometimes I would put that end table next to my bed. And I did want to put a stuffed animal in here because and this little bunny statue, because like I said, I had stuffed animals. At one point over here, I did have a pop-out closet, which means, I don't know what the real term for it is, but they actually had to build a closet around the original wall, so it stuck out like a sore thumb. I did not want to build that into my Sims because it just seemed unnecessary when they have dressers and closets don't really exist in the Sim world, I guess. But there was a pop-out closet in my actual house, and it was so difficult moving furniture around, which this just seems easy. I don't know, I'm probably just talking out of my butt. But we did have a hallway going to my parents' bedroom, and there was this hallway that came up to the stairs. We did have a window at the end, and then we had this door and that door, which I will talk more about this area here in a minute. This was the guest room. It actually had a really ugly wall pattern. I will post a side-by-side because a very short while I remember I would sleep in there for some reason, because after I put the futon into my bedroom, the queen bed went into the guest bedroom. And sorry if you're hearing slapping sounds, I keep talking with my hands. And there was like a big Indian head on this wall, which it did look like this. There was like this weird area. There was a dresser there, and there was once again a pop-out closet right here. So the room just seemed, there was pop-out closets. This house was an old farmhouse, FYI, so there was no closets in any room. So before we moved in, they had to make closets. Anywho, I would sleep in here because after I moved the futon into my room, I would get really uncomfortable. So I would come in here and I'd bring my laptop in here. I would watch PewDiePie, and I think that's the only YouTuber back then that I watched was PewDiePie. But I would just binge and binge and binge on Felix, and I would just eat and snack and be fat. And I did take a picture by the door, a Halloween picture, which I will post a side-by-side of, and you can see the wall. This hallway in real life was not this wide, it was more narrow. And my dad's a third shift worker. My mom would often put his laundry baskets outside of the door in this little section right here. We did have a bookshelf right here, which it was a wide, skinny one, which Sims does not have. So I just put this little accent right here. I don't really remember. We had like some type of pattern, but I can't really remember the pattern. There was no wall right here. Like there's maybe a wall right here and then it stopped. Probably like it was basically at the end of the shower. We did have a hamper right here. It was always messy. There would be dirty clothes everywhere. And then this was just one big closet, which in the Sims world, I made it into a bedroom because before we moved in, the landlord that we personally knew said, hey, do you want to knock down this wall right here, which was a hardwood, like a really old hardwood floor. And it was actually skinnier than what it looks in the Sims world, but it was just one regular ass closet where we shoved our Halloween and Easter and Christmas decorations, along with keeping, or maybe not Halloween, I think I kept our Halloween decorations downstairs and our Christmas and Easter stayed up here. And anywho, they asked like, hey, we should just knock down this wall and put a wall like right here and make it into like another bedroom. And we just said nah, and we pretty much used this for storage as well, which was our old winter coats or our childhood stuff. And there was just shelving units around the perimeter. This is where I also kept all of my, like I had this big pink, like I think it was Tyke Barbie doll house. You may know what I'm talking about, 90s people. We kept it in here, and I kept all my Barbies and toys in here, and I would just come into the bathroom and play, and then anytime my dad wanted to use the restroom, I had to get up and leave. We did have a sink. It wasn't this long. I would say it was probably 2 sinks like this in the actual, or counters like this, and the actual sink would probably be put in the middle. And we didn't have mirrors set up like this. Obviously, I had to improvise in the Sims world, and we had one of those mirrors that it's like a big medicine cabinet, and you can open 3 sets of mirrors, and you can like look at your hair from like the back of your head, like from one mirror. I hope you know what I'm talking about. I did take pictures a lot in that mirror, so I'll be posting side by sides while I'm talking. By the way, the character that I'm playing is my older sister. She's always been a brunette growing up, but she dyed her hair recently. I did create my family this morning. I created my mom, my dad, my older brother, my little brother, which creating my little brother, he is obviously a normal person in the Sims world, but he does have special needs, and obviously you cannot do that in the Sims world. Anywho, that's just information nobody really cares about. Let's go down the hall. And like I said, this was just a closet. My parents' bedroom was actually the biggest room in the house, which in the Sims world, it does not look big at all. My room actually looks bigger, but in real life, theirs was bigger. And I tried getting the windows accurate. I think they had a TV in their room. And this was their pop-out closet, and I didn't really go in the room much. I didn't really care to, so. Oh. We used to actually, there was no wall right here. It didn't really look like that. There was no door right here either. It was just a complete flat wall. But right about here next to the bathroom door, we had these drawers. I don't think I've ever taken a picture of it, but we used to have these drawers, and it was also a cabinet, and it would lead to the other side, and then whoa, and then we would have a white cabinet on the other side. Like there's no drawers on this side, but it was just cabinets, and you could see through into the hallway if these doors were open on this side of the wall. It was really, really cool. The drawers were really big and deep. I could crawl in them. So let's go downstairs. The downstairs I tried making more accurate. Okay, this dining room I tried making completely accurate. We did have like this little buffet system. It did not look like a countertop though. It was nice and wood, and every Christmas my mom would put up her Christmas village on there. and there was like a wood back to it, and there was a built-in mirror. I can't remember if we had lamps there or not. We did have a nice lighting system that looked similar to that. My brother's room was right there. We did have a shelf here, and we had something right here, but I can't remember what. We had like a little corner shelf, which my mom still has, and it had a little plant on it, which I think I took a picture of, but I might have deleted it. We had a red door on each side of the house that we had a door on exiting the house. We had French doors that went to the living room. And we had the old school big square venting systems, and that would be my favorite spot to stand over. But there was white cabinets here, like not cabinets, there would be white counters, and honestly there was no backs to these. You could just store just nonsense underneath there, which is what my mom did. And there was curtains, I think, all along the area. And we had one computer right here, which I built my mom, which looks nothing like my mom, by the way. I'm really bad at trying to make Sims look like real people, but I tried building my mom, and I tried building my sister, which she currently has blonde hair, but the computer was right here. And then I tried making this look junky as possible, because there would just be junk all around this. And I'm not saying like trash, I'm saying like my mom was a really crafty person, so there would be like those like Tupperware drawer things, like there'd be Tupperware drawer things sitting on top of here and underneath, and then the monitor for, or the computer for the monitor would sit next to it. And there would just be crafty stuff all around here. It's where we kept like all of our pens and our scissors, and I think like yarn stuff. And then there was like big Tupperware like drawers, like the really tall ones, and a filing cabinet next to it. And I just put canvases here because I just wanted to make it homey and cluttery. In the Sims world, I wanted to build it the way I wanted to for my actual Sims. And in here was the smallest bathroom, which it looks pretty big in the Sims world, but I cannot make it small to my liking in the video game. So we did have little corners on this side of the house, but also it looked flat on the other side, so I just did this little funky thing with the walls. But we had a clawfoot tub, and I think we had carpets in there. We just had like a regular sink, which I made the mistake by putting one of these sinks down, when all reality we actually had a cupboard underneath the sink. We did have like this little like metal stand that we put like extra soaps and stuff in, and underneath we would store like an extra towel or two. It would be really messy in this corner. Nobody really used the bathtub, like unless we wanted to take a really relaxing bath, we would use it, but not very often. Mainly the only person who used this tub was my little brother, so a lot of his toys would be here, and my mom's makeup would sit in a little basket next to the sink. And then right here was like another ventilating system, or vent. And I don't really know if anything sat in the corner or not. There's certain things I really can't remember, but like all this was like a tight knit area. It wasn't this big. We did have like this wicker, I think it was wicker like medicine cabinet looking thing, and it was green. We did have a wood border like this in the house, and it was just plain green. We didn't have a pattern. My mom right here had a shelf, and she decorated it, and we had something underneath, but I can't really remember what it was. And we, like I said, we did have a corner thing, and all along the wood part in the whole dining room had scratch marks on it, because my brother would love to just go around in circles in his wheelchair, and it was pretty spacious for him to either scoot around or to wheel around. And he would wheel in here, which there was like a little step down, so if he wheeled down he could not get back up himself. So I would also wheel in here and see what my mom was doing, or my mom always had the French doors open. Occasionally I would close the doors because I always had movie nights with friends, and we also had like this lace linen covering, but I would always shut the French doors when I had movie nights. And we had like we always had a recliner right here, and then we had one of those couches that was a wraparound couch, and that's all the furniture we had that would actually fit. And then we did have a baby chair for Wesley to sit in, like a kid-sized. I put a fireplace here because I think a year or two before we had to move out, my dad finally was able to we had like a huge entertainment center system, which had bookshelves on each side, or like one section, like not this whole section, but like one on each side of the entertainment center. So that's why I put bookshelves there. But eventually, what I'm getting to, eventually we did get a TV, like a big TV stand that had an electrical fireplace in it, and then we were finally able to get a smart TV, and it was a screen TV. I don't think it was this big, but I just wanted to try and get it identical as much as possible. We never had a rug. I don't think my mom believes in rugs. I don't know, but we did have our dining room table like this. It didn't look like this. We just had the same old kitchen table that we've had for like my whole entire life. But anytime, we always had Thanksgivings here and Christmas dinners, and we would always have to move like this all the way up against the wall. I mean, not all the way up against the wall, because like you want people to sit there, but like we would have to move this all the way against the wall, and then like bring in another table, so the rest of my family could sit there, and then the kids' table would just be in this room, and they would like watch TV. Well, I don't think the TV was hardly ever on. So let's just talk about this room for a minute. I put, we did have two big windows. They did not look like this. The AC unit would be in this window right here. We did have an exercising chair right here. So because Sims does not have an exercising chair, why am I saying exercising chair? An exercising bike. Oh my god, my brain. The kitchen is an interesting part. I'm gonna save that for last. Let's just talk about, there's our stairs. We had blue carpet stairs. This is what my bad. This is what Wesley's room kind of looked like. He had blue carpet. He had a car bed, which I could not put a car bed in here because that's only for toddlers. And I made Wesley into an actual kid. But he had a blue car bed, and it was a very small, tight-knit bedroom. And I put a little solar system lighting in here, but he had a different colored fan blade fan. And my mom and my dad both painted Wesley's room when he was in the hospital. They wanted to make it an underwater theme, and my mom just put random Nemo, like Finding Nemo stickers and SpongeBob stickers, like all along the wall. And he had his own like little stand and his little, I don't know if he had a dresser or not. I think he did, but like right here would have been his pop-out closet. And I put a little Penguin TV in here, but he actually did have a SpongeBob TV. So I put a clock right here, which my mom had like a clock that had utensils as the arm. My dad tried putting in like lighting above the cabinet right here, so that's why I put the little ugly sandal lighting. And we did have a mirror as well, but I could not fit a mirror right there. And we had a dishwasher, and I put like a 4-system lighting right here because we just had one giant square lighting thing in the kitchen. And this would have been our basement, but I don't know how to do basements in The Sims 4 yet. I'm still figuring out the controls and etc. on the PlayStation because that's what I'm playing on. because my Windows is so slow, it's just not worth like having Sims like installed into. We had like this white medicine cabinet, which my parents still have, and the microwave would sit there and the medicines would be up at the top, and then Tupperware would, like, the lids and stuff would sit at the bottom. We had a hutch, which The Sims 4 does not have a hutch. Fridge was next to the window, and we had like this cabinet system right here, except I don't think we had a corner cabinet system. I can't remember. I might have just had one cabinet and one counter. This would just be covered in just snacks, and our cabinet was not this long either. So this right here, we actually had a corner that looked like this, and this little room was actually really, really skinny, and it was our laundry room. And obviously, I think they did just come out with a Sims 4 washer and dryer laundry expansion, but I don't have that. But because I don't have that, I don't have a washer and dryer, so I just made it into an extra bathroom for more of a convenience for my Sims in the game. I think I talked about everything. Eventually, I would love to learn how to screen record. I'm gonna flip this back on my ugly little face, so warning, my face. I would love to learn how to screen record. I don't know if I need like an actual... This hair just keeps doing the dumbest stuff. Anywho, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. It's not going to be this gross and boring, even though I see that, I think, at the end of every video.